Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode of More Money. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and today it is just me, and we are going to talk about how to manifest $1,000 in 10 days. I am so excited about this. I'm actually doing a challenge. I've mentioned it before on the show, I believe, or at least hinted to it. So November 2nd is my Freedomversary, and that's the first day I woke up and I didn't have to go back to work. So I left my job on the 1st. And the second was really the first day. It was actually a Saturday 5 years ago, because this year will be my fifth anniversary. And so it's the 5th anniversary of the time that I woke up and I didn't have to go to work. And it was actually a Saturday, but that was even a cooler feeling or a cool feeling. I don't know if it's cooler because it's the only one I've had, but getting to wake up on a Saturday and knowing, oh, my weekend isn't just 2 days long. I don't have to go back to work on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. And then I get a weekend and I don't have to go back to work after that. So I really like to celebrate this day. I was talking to Jenny, my co-host of the Manifest It Now show. If you listen, you know who Jenny is. Otherwise, you can check us out. Just Google Manifest It Now. And I said something to the effect of, I didn't think that it wasn't possible to make as much money as I make right now, having a business that I love. And it just wasn't even in my realm at the time. Like, I can't tell you that I didn't think, like, oh, that's not possible. It just wasn't even something that I was willing to ask for or could see myself asking for. When I left my job, if you followed me for a while, you know that I created a passive income with my real estate investment. So all my bills were paid. I didn't have a lot of bills, but the mortgage where I lived was paid by the person renting the carriage house. I had a 2-bedroom and there was a carriage house in the back. So my where I lived was paid. My car was paid for. So I just had car insurance and cell phone and internet and health insurance once I quit my job. And so all of that was paid. And I remember, some sort of thoughts of, making $10,000, $20,000 a year as a coach, because that would have added on. I was paying, I could pay all my bills, and that was, the fun money, and that just seemed like, I don't know, that just seemed like what I was going to do, right? And I did that in my first year. I made $10,000, which was more than I had ever made. It was 10 times more than I'd ever made in my business before. So that was awesome. And it was about a year after quitting my job that I set the intention, I make $500,000 from my bed and my balcony. And that that is coming true for sure. I said that was my 5-year. I always put yourself and your future self in 5 years and give yourself the time to grow into that. And the journey growing into that has been amazing. And I can see it. Like, it's right there. I can almost taste that intention coming true. And what's even cooler is that the journey has been super fun to grow into that, and I'm excited about it. And what's awesome as well is that I pay myself for my business what I was making when I left my corporate job, and I had a 6-figure corporate job. Like, I didn't walk away from something that was minimal, right? And so for most of this year, I've been paying myself that out of just my business, right? Not including my real estate investments, not including that. And so that has been amazing and fun and so cool to have come this far and been able to, I can support myself. I have the same salary as, when I left my job, which I didn't ever see as possible. And I was okay with that. I had really come to terms with, coaching might not ever pay me that much, but, I had my bills paid, and so I was fine, right? And little did I know I would start teaching how to manifest money, and it would keep growing for me. I knew that I knew how to manifest money, but when I left my job, I had no idea I was going to create the Money, Money, Money course, which has become Manifest 10K, which has become everything. The workshop wasn't even a thought, right? It wasn't even anything. The workshop, my future self-work, all came a year and a half actually after leaving my job. So everything just has unfolded. And, on this show, I like to give you the sort of the back end, the backstory of creating my business in that. And so I'm just celebrating everything this week, and especially on the second that has to do with my freedom and having the space and the time to build the business that I love. And I work far, far, far less than I did in my corporate job, like way less, and have way more fun. I mean, I loved who I worked with, but I have way more fun, and I just love what I do. I get to support people every single day to live their best lives. So I was thinking, how am I going to celebrate that? Like a couple years ago, I did a special on Manifest 10K where, Manifest 10K used to be pay after you manifest. And what I did is I sent out the special in the first like 5 days of the one that was running. And I said, okay, if you're signed up, you can pay now $97 and you're good. So you can keep everything that you manifest. You don't have to pay me 10% after the $97. And it was so fun. A bunch of people did that. A lot of people had already manifested $200 and $300 at that point. And so they're like, this is a great deal. And so that was a lot of fun. And so this year, being the 5-year anniversary, I wanted to do something super special. And so I came up with this How to Manifest $1,000 in 10 Days challenge that I'm going to be doing. And so I'll tell you how at the end of the podcast, or if you just can't wait, you can go to manifest1000dollars.com. Dollars is spelled out. And you can join the challenge if you can't wait. But I'm going to tell you how you can get into the Enchanted Circle while doing the challenge for 10 days. But I'm going to give you 3 different ways to manifest $1,000 in 10 days. So I'm going to give you options, right? And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it all the ways because that's what I want for you. So just the only agreement is like, tell me whichever one you do and send me an email and say, hey, I manifested $1,000 in 10 days after I listened to this podcast. So the first way to manifest $1,000 in 10 days is to just set the intention and forget it. So literally in this moment, say, I'm manifesting $1,000. Put it on your calendar 10 days from now to look at, and then remember, and then notice how you manifested $1,000, right? It's just set it and forget it. And this is actually what I told the Enchanted Circle. So the members that are already in the Enchanted Circle, some of them heard on the podcast and I said, you're already enrolled and this is how you're going to do it because this is building the ultimate trust. You're just going to say, okay, I'm going to manifest $1,000 in 10 days and just set the intention and just keep doing what you're doing in the circle, no matter whether you're in Manifest 10K or you're scripting, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, which is really cool. And so I talked about this a week or so ago, I think it was a week ago, with one of my clients on the call. And then within 2 or 3 days, she's posting in our system, I got this new client and this new client. And I'm like, there's $1,000. Remember how because I had said, you're just going to manifest $1,000. And she said, okay, done. Right? She was like, yep, intention set, done. It's done, right? And 3 days later, there it showed up, and I told her, I said, there it is. And she was like, oh, that is amazing. So that it can totally work. It's one of the higher level, if you listen to Manifest It Now, Ginny and I often will talk about higher level LOA and manifesting, and that's really where you get to, is where you just set the intention and something comes. I can't tell you how often I'll say, ooh, that would be awesome, and it's just a thought, and 3 days later, whatever that thing is that I thought would be awesome shows up in my life. So that is super fun. So that's option number 1, is just to set the intention, trust it, count the money 10 days later, okay? Option number 2, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, right? So for option number 2, you're going to say, okay, I am intending to manifest $1,000 in 10 days. I'm participating in this challenge, and just decide that, right? Put 10 days from now on your calendar and manifesting $10,000. And then I want you to decide, what are you going to do with that $1,000? Now, you're going to get the most juice. Often I'll hear people say, oh, pay off this bill, pay off that bill, do this, whatever. You're going to get the most juice from this challenge if you pick something that is a splurge. It's something that is totally you wouldn't normally do, right? So whether it is a vacation, like, whether it's, I've actually had to record this episode twice. And so in the first one, I think I mentioned, like you could fly to Vegas and go to Canyon Ranch Spa, which is my favorite spa in Vegas. You could go, once a quarter, for $1,000. So something like that, or going on an ultimate spa day, right? There's definitely spas that have packages that are $1,000. It doesn't have to be the spa. I'm just on a spa kick for some reason, but It could be $1,000 to totally upgrade your wardrobe. It could be $1,000 to get something really cool on your car that you normally wouldn't do. So you don't have to do this by any means. And what I will say is that's going to give you the most juice. It's going to give you the most power rather than saying, "Oh, I'm going to pay off this credit card," or I'm just going to put this $1,000 towards this bill that won't really pay it off. And so you can give yourself permission to have fun with this. Some of you might be thinking, "Well, that's irresponsible. That's this, that's that." You know, it's your money, and when we're learning to manifest, there has to be some fun. There has to be some juice. Everything can't just be about paying off a bill, because it doesn't put the fun and the juice, and then it makes money really hard, and it feels like you're just working for nothing. And so if this is the one time you give yourself permission to splurge, give yourself permission this time to do that, and just say, okay, when this extra $1,000 comes into my life, this is what I'm going to do with it. All right? And then you got to make sure you count it. So do a splurge. Actually, let me say this next one first. And then count everything, right? So as soon as you start the challenge and you walk outside and there's a quarter, write it down, right? Decide how you're going to write it down. So you can get a sticky note, you can keep it in your purse, you could keep a Google Doc on your phone, you could do a note on your phone, you can do a notebook that you carry with you. But every single time more money comes into your life, I want you to write it down, right? Because you don't want to get to $996 and be $4 short, right? When you could have counted like that free coffee that your friend bought you, and made it. So make sure you count everything. And speaking of that coffee that your friend bought you, make that or set the intention and make the effort that, okay, so if you were going to go to coffee and you were planning on paying $4 for a coffee, and your friend buys for you, pull that $4 out of your wallet or out of your account anyway, and you can put it in a jar, because we're going for 1,000, so you can put it in a jar. You could just put it in a different account. You can make a note, but really there's this benefit to actually taking it out, not just going, "Oh, that was awesome, I saved $4," but consciously you were gonna invest that money. It was gonna come out of your account. So take it out of your account and put it in your pocket, right? Put it in your jar for this splurge, for this challenge. And really, like I said, count everything, right? Make a commitment to do that, because that is what you focus on, is what you get more of. And so the more you count every single penny that shows up in your life during this challenge, the more money you're going to get, the more money is going to show up. And it's not just going to be pennies or dimes or nickels or whatever. It's going to be more and more money. So keep doing that. All right? So then there's the third way that you can join this challenge. Oh, but, sorry, I just turned my page notes. Let's talk about the last thing you need to do if you're going to do this challenge on your own. You're going to ask yourself, how do I feel? How am I going to feel? How will I feel when I've manifested $1,000? And when you've manifested that $1,000, how are you going to feel? So answer that right now. I pick one feeling, not 3 or 10 or 15, one, because it's going to be easier to focus on. And then what I want you to do is focus on activating that feeling for the next 10 days, right? And anytime you think, "Oh, my money's not showing up," go activate that feeling. Anytime you're excited that money's showing up, go activate that feeling. Anytime you don't have anything to do, go activate that feeling, because activating that feeling is going to be key, because that's how you're going to feel when you get there. And so you want to feel that now. So that is the guide to the do-it-yourself way to manifest $1,000. So there's two sort of DIY. The one is set it and forget it, and the second is what I just talked about, going through the steps, right? Set the intention, decide what you're going to invest the money on when it shows up, make sure to count everything, make that commitment, identify how you're going to feel, and activate that feeling on a regular basis during this challenge. The third way to join the Manifest $1,000 in 10 days challenge is to join the official challenge, which you can do at manifest1000dollars.com. That's manifest1000 dollars.com. And when you go there, it's actually going to take you to the Enchanted Circle page. You can just click the purple button at the top that says Join the Manifest $1,000 challenge. And what you're going to get is you're going to get access to the Enchanted Circle for 10 days. So there's some pre-work, there's some stuff to do to set the intention to manifest $1,000. And the best way to actually manifest $1,000 is to become the person who's manifesting $10,000. Because when you go bigger, right, if we want $1,000, it's when there's more space of who you can grow into. So there's a difference between somebody who manifests $1,000 and somebody who manifests $10,000. And when you start growing into that person who manifests $10,000, the $1,000 comes easy. So the way that I'm going to support you in manifesting $1,000 is there's some pre-work to do. And I didn't create this whole step-by-step guide to manifesting $1,000 because I know, like I've just said, that by going and becoming that person and acting as if you're the person in the Enchanted Circle who is doing Manifest 10K and expects to manifest $10,000, and if you join, it should definitely be your intention, because everybody manifests way over $10,000 now. So you can join and you're going to become, so for 10 days you're going to have access to everything in the Enchanted Circle. So there's some videos that are going to support you. You get to start, and do the first 10 days and manifest 10K, which is enough to get you on the road to going, to manifesting your $1,000, right? So that's the way that is working. It's $33 to join. Again, that gets you 10 days into the Enchanted Circle. And you get to step into the role and be the person who's manifesting $10,000, which is going to make $1,000 come even easier. It's just going to show up because you're being the person who's manifesting $10,000. So other cool things that go along with that is you get access to coaching calls with me. I have 10 calls scheduled, starting, I believe it starts the week of the 5th, whatever the Monday is after the 1st. There are 10 calls during that week that you can attend and you can get coaching. And so this is really the chance to go all in, right? It's a chance to show up and have a community that supports you, that is all about manifesting and celebrating and all that. It's a chance to manifest $1,000 so that, my intention is if you manifest $1,000 being in the Enchanted Circle, that you stay in the Enchanted Circle and you keep manifesting more and more money, and you get to keep manifesting next month's investment and stay there and learn and grow until you're manifesting way more than the investment. $10,000 in 90 days, that's the intention. So that's my intention, is that you show up, you soak up everything you can. Like I said, there's access to 10 calls. So one of the biggest things about Manifest 10K is people, the first couple of assignments are the most key, and those are the things that people miss the mark on the most. Those are the things that you really need coaching in the beginning to get you off on the right foot. And so there are 10 chances to come to a call and have me help you with those assignments and support you through those. As you become the person who's manifesting $10,000. So, details on the challenge again are you get to join the challenge. There's some pre-work. You can join by going to manifest1000.com, manifest1000.com, and then you get some pre-work. On the 1st, you will you get access to the Enchanted Circle. So if you hear this after the 1st, the challenge closes on the 5th, on Monday, November 5th. So you can join up until the 5th, and you get your full 10 days access to the Enchanted Circle. However, the calls happen the 5th through the 10th. So you'll get a call schedule. There's tons of different times, morning, noon, and night, to attend, to show up, and to get coaching and to get the support that you need to make you super successful in manifesting $1,000 in 10 days. So, and you get access to the Enchanted Circle. You get to start the Manifest 10K process, set that intention, start moving towards that. And you get the support of an amazing community and coaching from me if you need it. So, 3 ways to manifest $1,000 to help me celebrate my Freedomversary. The first one, set the intention and forget it. The second one, I gave you the step-by-steps to do it on your own, to DIY it, which is cool if that feels good and possible. Or if you've been thinking about the Enchanted Circle for a while and you just haven't jumped in or for whatever reason, you can join the official Manifest $1,000 challenge by going to manifest1000dollars.com. You get 10 days in the Enchanted Circle where you get to become the person who's manifesting $10,000, which means that $1,000 will show up even easier, and you get all the perks. You get plus additional, because there are 10 calls that week to support you and growing and stepping into that person who's manifesting money super easy. So I intend that this was super helpful for you. Whether you pick to just set it and forget it, DIY it, or to join the official challenge, I hope that you will participate in the Manifesting $1,000 in 10 days, and you will let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for being a listener and for being on my journey for these 5 years. If you've been here, I know there are some of you listening that have been around really since day one when I left my job. Thank you for helping me celebrate my Freedomversary. And if that's something you want in your life, I look forward to the day that you get to tell me, hey, this is my Freedomversary. To join the challenge, go to manifest1000dollars.com. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn more about enrolling in the Enchanted Circle, go to cassieparks.com.